So welcome to the Node API team meeting for January 2024. We will follow our standard approach of going through the board and looking at the various steps. Anybody have any announcements they'd like to share before we start that? Okay, I will share my screen then. And go. If anybody sees anybody else join, let me know because I have a harder time seeing if somebody needs to be promoted once I've shared. I'm just going to try and open the window if I can figure
Yeah,
out.
Chengzong's here actually.
Ah, right. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So where? Okay, now I've got that. Okay, promote depends. Perfect. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to miss it.
Oh,
Hello, how you doing?
good.
Good. Okay, so we'll start with done. Anything in the done column that people want to highlight or? Hey, if not, there's the nappy thread say function is hard to use. Gabriel, I know you're taking a look at
Yeah.
that. Anything that's worth discussing?
Yeah, I'm struggling with building Node. I tried to build like the debug, like configure it with debug, and in the end, I get this really strange message that says it's attempting to, like the linker is attempting to resolve a symbol from an object that is slated to be discarded. And I'm like, well, then don't discard it. But somehow that's a fatal error. Um,
Okay.
so I tried to build a release version, but with minus G minus O zero or minus G minus OG, just to be able to debug better. Because like I don't really care if we build V8 with debugging support, and with all those extra assertions that it adds.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to trace things. But that's very tricky because there's a bunch of places where we have C flags and so forth. And every time I change anything, I have to wait like 5 hours for the build to complete. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take sort of the superficial approach, which is like, okay, build main, then apply the thing, add the test, watch it fail on main, then build the branch and expect the test to pass. And that's it. And I'm not gonna try and trace anything because presumably there is a fix, so I don't need to trace anything to
Right.
see
If you
why
got a
it's
test
happening.
that passes or fails, then
Yeah,
that seems
exactly.
yeah.
So I'll put the test first in the Git commit sequence, and then I'll put the fix, and then I should have a commit where the test fails, and then I check out the next one and it passes, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll probably take over Mika's PR and I'll add the test, and we'll see if it passes on every arch and platform and everything.
Sounds great. Thanks for
Yeah,
moving that one forward.
yeah, yeah. Happy to help.
For the ones that we have in progress, there's a few of those. Any that people want to discuss?
Yeah, I'm still kind of working with libnode API. I pretty much implemented the full set of C tests. Like, remember last time I was showing it was mostly just C++ tests. It's a C test, but I have nothing to show yet. So I hope to publish them soonish before next week, I guess.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody want to bring up any of the others? Okay, if not, we can go to similarly for to do. Don't know if there's any of those that we should touch base on.
I have one question.
Yep.
Vladimir, I see you next to the last one in the in progress, the native add-on use thread safe function and cause X bad access. Uh, I'm wondering if when I have this up and running, if we can test that against like the fix from 55706, because like they might be running into the same problem, meaning
That
that
would be
the thread
nice.
safe function.
Just the bug itself says like the issue is related to one of my previous changes. So thankfully I was planning to work on, but
Oh, I see.
honestly, like I have a lot of pressure from my management to finish up with sleep node stuff. So I'm kind of working like every
Okay.
day mostly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I can probably test it, see
Yeah.
if I can reproduce it without, and maybe it's fixed with.
That
Okay.
would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. It would be nice.
Yeah. We'll see how much I get to in the next week, but as a general kind of direction.
Sounds good. Okay, if there's nothing in the to-dos, then let's take a look. I don't think there's actually anything new in terms of like things that have come in other than I'm looking at, okay, so there's some, was that new or not? No, there's a few like the new ones which are bump things in the examples.
I think the last one is
Maybe the last one is,
new.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess this is one. This is a question about the TFSN, and I guess the example. Why not allow the use of new? New causes errors. I guess I don't see off the top of my head. Call. So I guess that one we just probably need somebody to take a look and possibly answer.
It may, since it's using the old not typed thread safe function, it may be automatically deleting the data, which is why it's not needed to be done here. But I can't remember the old API. Yeah, I could take a look at this one. I think this one is much more up my wheelhouse than
Okay.
some of the other ones.
Sounds good. If you're volunteering, I will always be willing to assign you immediately.
Yeah, thread safe APIs I'm familiar with.
Okay, so I'm going to
But
do
it's been a
that.
while since I've looked at them.
And I will put that then into the in progress one, right? Okay. This one. I guess this one is new too since last week. Is that at all related? No, nappy wrap.
Oh, my immediate reaction is that my object doesn't actually create anything new. So because like yes, it creates an API value, but it's just a wrapper around an API value. Oh, never mind. No, because it's new. So we need to free that. It's on the
I think
heap.
it's been freed in the my object destructor, which is referenced in the API wrap as the finalizer.
Yeah, I mean, right there, it's getting, well, I mean, it calls the destructor, but it should be freed.
Yeah, instead of calling the destructor directly.
Well, not instead. Well, yeah, I guess instead, because that'll end up calling the destructor. Yeah, so that should be like delete what? Delete native object. Well, delete, reinterpret, cast, etc., native object.
Yeah, it should be delete instead of
Okay.
calling the destructor.
Yeah. Good point. Okay. Shall we ask for a PR or shall we just make the PR?
Yeah, I think we can ask if they would like to make a focus because I think it's a simple one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the examples were updated like 6 years ago, so probably they are a little bit outdated.
Basically, so does that comment sound good to people?
Yeah,
Maybe add
perfect.
mention just in case.
Right. That sounds good. Looks good now?
Yep.
Okay, comment. And I think we can leave that in this category so that we take another look next time.
Do we build and run these examples at any point? I don't remember.
We build, but we don't run Valgrind or any memory check on it.
Okay, but okay, all right. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should just run them, but I don't like we don't have any
I
that
think it
are designed to be
I
like
think it runs
servers or
during the
something.
CI. It does a build and then
Yeah.
the package is index JSON. And then
Yeah.
it just expects it to not error.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's good. Because
So
yeah, maybe we need like a Valgrind wrapper around that, because that would have caught this, I think.
yeah, right now it only checks if it's directly crashing
Right,
or
exactly.
not building. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe can we add like an issue to the examples repo to add like a Valgrind version of the run, just as
So
a reminder. Unless we already have one.
See anything? You want me to create one?
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, it might be worth it. It's 584. You can put hashtag 584,
Okay,
and I think it will actually deduce that it's an issue.
584.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's 584 is the thread safe function. This was, sorry, yeah, I'm still looking at the old one. It's not 584.
it's 580.
Oh, okay,
Right.
that's it.
How's that?
That's good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we have any enhancement, maybe. Okay. Okay. And I think I might put that in the to-do since we don't need to, like, it's not a
Yeah.
need triage one. This one, let's take a look and see. I was just like, yeah, sure. So I don't know. I guess I can just leave that in to do maybe.
Yeah, sounds good.
This one. Okay, so it looks like that one's kind of moving along, so that's okay. We talked about this one, but we'll leave there and to see whether they want to submit it here or not. These ones are just things we can do. This one, I
Yeah,
guess, I
that one-
think that
yeah.
takes more work, right?
This one was the one about it would need to sort of completely rework
Right.
the Gatsby plugin. I've
Right.
not been able to really move forward with that. I don't know if it's worthwhile really to even try, because like what we have concurrently, I believe, still published to the web. It's just that are we
Right.
even really putting new things on that NAPI, Node API resource website anymore? Because I thought we've been mainly putting things on sort of like our repository as readmes or as markdown files or things like that, or even publishing posts on like Node.js org itself.
Yeah, I think the main just node add-on samples and somewhere I thought there was somewhere here that was linked the NAPI resource.
There, yes.
Right. So this, I think it comes down to like if the reality is we don't have enough cycles to maintain it and we think it's like out of date, then like at some point we just agree, well, we don't have cycles to maintain it. Do we remove it, right? But
I think it will be easier for us to just maintain Markdown files instead of a website because it needs a lot of resources to maintain it.
right. Is this generated from, I think this is generated from the markdown, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some markdown generation. Um, I think it even goes through some like file parsing to like render code as well,
Right.
like injection of files.
So like we could, yeah. I mean, I think at some point we have to accept if we don't have somebody who's interested in cycles to keep going, maybe we just say like, yeah, we'll fall back to the GitHub version, right?
Well, like I guess first we would need to see like if the information is still valid
Yep.
and updated and up to date, like we could just would we want to just keep it there for now, or do we want to migrate it somewhere else that is easier to maintain, so if it does become outdated that we can then update it?
I think the issue with the website is that the GitHub is always warning about the outdated dependencies in the website,
Right.
which includes security issues.
That makes sense. Okay.
I guess the question is those security issues, what's the impact?
I would doubt if it will have actual impact because it's static site.
Right. That's kind of like it's a public site, it's static. Okay, if it's saying something's not quite right, what's the actual impact? So
But
Right.
GitHub keeps warning about these dependencies. So maybe we
yeah.
can just silence it or we can take it down.
Yeah, I think we should be open to any of those different options, like whatever. If it's really just because there's the security warnings, then that's one thing. If it's actually not valid anymore, like out of date or stale, then removing would make sense. Or if somebody had energy and wanted to move it to something else, that's good too.
What would we want to sort of move it over to? Would it be like in a different framework, but still publishing maybe like GitHub pages or something like that? Or, having some just markdown file structure?
I think the Markdown file structure already works because it doesn't need any actual work to maintain it.
Okay.
It's just there. But the question is, do we want to maintain the GitHub page?
Right. It's nicer, but like, is it worth the effort and is the fundamental question, right?
Right.
Yeah.
For our Node add-on API docs are only in GitHub, right?
Yeah, Node add-on only
Yeah.
Node add-on API only has Markdown pages, no
Right.
GitHub pages.
Maybe we should do the same then.
I agree. Keep it simple.
Let's keep it
Yeah.
simple. Because
I'm good with that.
all it is just code snippets and links to other places within the same, structure. So, okay.
So the question I would have, is there some way we could just replace okay, so that was this, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe we just replace the GitHub page to point to here or redirect to here, right? So like if we've used that link somewhere, they don't end up with like, hey, just broken, they end up here, right? Like, that makes sense?
Yeah. And maybe if there's a way that like it could be an archive for like the old page, the old stuff.
I think if we don't change the GitHub pages branch, it will just be there. And we can take the source code down and convert it to just Markdowns.
So like the source is
The source is on the main branch, yeah. On
right.
the
So that's
website
already here,
directory.
right?
Yeah. And we are not going to touch the GitHub branch because it's already published, and we don't want to take the website down.
Yep.
Because it's already there, but we can still give the website source code go.
I see. So the GitHub pages branch is here.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You have to go up a folder. It's
Okay.
yeah. And
Like
now you can go to
there, and then I go to
Mhm.
GitHub pages.
Yeah.
This is like the route that gets displayed when you go to that site.
Okay, so I guess and then is there like markdown already in these or?
No, these are HTML files
Right,
which
yeah,
are
okay.
statically hosted by GitHub pages. So if we don't touch these HTML files,
Yep.
then it should be all right. And we can just take the workflow and the website source code down.
Okay. So there's nothing in there that's like was dynamic. For some reason, I thought we had some dynamic generation from the examples, but maybe not.
I think it's in the workflow, the GitHub workflow, the actions. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what Gatsby is doing when it's generating the HTML from Markdown. It's also injecting some stuff from files and examples, and then it puts it in that GH pages branch. And once it goes there, then it's allowed on the public internet,
Right, so if we turn that off, it'll slowly get stale, right?
Yeah, but it'll still be there, and the links are still working.
Right, I guess what I was thinking though, if as opposed to that, why don't we change the link just to point to like
Right.
something which won't go stale, right? Like,
I think then we could say on the front page. So if you go back to where
yeah,
you were, we could have sort of in big text, I guess, saying that, this text may be outdated. For more information, go to the GitHub README, and then we put a link there.
yeah, I was almost even like a redirect. If we
I
could,
don't know, because yeah, I mean, if we do migrate everything from here, but we also want to keep all of the links working, I guess. I don't know if you'd want to I don't know how that would work. If somebody linked directly to, I don't know, migration tutorial.
I'm not sure if if this website has many visits, but I don't find any
yeah,
Yeah.
statistics.
I don't know either.
So I'm not sure if it's worth it.
yeah, I kind of agree. I was just thinking, can we just say, yep, we're sunsetting it, but like for the main entry point, let's just redirect it to somewhere. So I think that's two good options. Like one, we just say we turn off the workflow. It'll be a static version that'll slowly go stale over time. The other option would be like, let's do that and redirect the main link. Try and figure out, can we redirect the main link so it just goes somewhere else? Or maybe it's a landing page that says like, this is no longer maintained,
Right.
go here, right? Like,
Right. I think either option would be fine. I think the majority of the work would be in moving this over to making sure whatever is in Markdown is correctly in Markdown, or whatever is being injected, like moving it over to this new format.
maybe the best bet then is just to turn off the workflow for now and basically say
Yeah,
it will slowly go stale, but otherwise, that's not today's problem necessarily, right?
yeah, I think it can be turned off from the UI.
Yeah, so like right here, I could just go, um, I don't know if we want to delete that or just disable
We
it.
can disable it, yeah.
Okay. Will that squelch? So, okay, it's disabled. Will that squelch the complaints we get?
I don't think so. I think we have to go to that merge request. Yeah, that pull request,
Right.
and tell Dependabot to ignore. But I don't know if it would, like, some of these still can be updated. So what I'll do then is look at which ones are not Gatsby or web related. Or is this only just the website? Well,
Well, I
We
guess
can tell
that's the question,
the
right?
we can tell the dependable to ignore certain directory. It's the config file is located here. I'm going to share in the chat.
Right. So here,
So we
oops,
can
that's
just
not
disable it.
okay. Sorry, I'm going to the chat now. Chat.
The last item is the
yeah,
website.
we would just disable it.
So basically just delete that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, why don't I just try doing it?
Let's do it. Yeah.
That should be relatively like commit those changes. And disable checks for a website that will no longer be published.
Mhm.
Published. How's that?
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, that should
Yep.
And
post
then
it.
whenever we migrate to wherever the new docs will be, then we can delete that website folder with all the Gatsby generation and everything.
Sounds good. So yeah, if somebody just wants to review and land that at some point, we'll need at least one review. So that's good. Okay, so in that case, this one we could just close, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna delete from first. I guess we want to close it. Open link. Closing as we agree and agree. No. Pages. Close. Then we can go here and we can remove. Okay, it went away.
Does it? Mhm.
And this one we can remove from the delete from project. I guess no, we'll put that into the in progress, right?
Yeah.
We can just make sure that lands. These other ones should just go, and we already talked about those two. So, okay, so I think that takes us through the board. Any other issues or topics we want to chat about this week? Okay, if not, well, thanks for everybody's time and effort, and we'll see you in GitHub and next week.
All right.